Good evening, you're watching Estuary News. I'm Hugh Riches, and the headlines tonight: honouring Howells Bee Lady and raising the roof in the City of Culture. And later in tonight's programme, I'll be talking to Brian Hossack about theatre in Yorkshire. Before that, Rachel White of Cottingham Little Theatre on the Snow Queen. A Grimsby woman has appeared in court today charged with theft. 54-year-old Alison Todd has appeared before magistrates charged with stealing around £200,000 from the Halifax Bank in Louth. She'll appear at Lincoln Crown Court next month. A meeting will be held for former steel workers in Scunthorpe tonight to discuss their pensions. Around 20,000 people have two options: either to go into a new pension scheme, which trustees want to set up with the help of Tata Steel UK, or to opt for the Pension Protection Fund. Some pensioners have already decided against both options and transferred out. Those affected have until the 11th of December to decide. The meeting takes place at the Baths Hall at 11 a.m. It's 4 years to the day since Hull learned that it would be the UK's City of Culture. It beat Swansea Bay, Dundee and Leicester to be crowned the winner. The Department of Culture, Media and Sport designates a city every 4 years as City of Culture to boost tourism and the economy, and presumably art for art's sake. Coventry, Paisley, Stoke-on-Trent, Sunderland and Swansea have been shortlisted to host in 2021. The chairman of the Hulton Price and Howden Conservative Association says businesses across Yorkshire and the Humber will be safe once the UK leaves the EU. Angus West gives his views on Brexit in tonight's Hot Topic.
Business will adapt to whatever situation is thrown at business. 95% of the businesses is not going to affect at all. Some of the businesses that are making big noises at the moment are some of the big corps who enjoy the free border situation and the tax avoidance situation of the EU, and that's why they're making some of the biggest noises.
And they're some of the biggest employers as well.
Not necessarily, actually. Most of the employment in this country comes from the small and medium-sized enterprises, not from the large employers.
And you can see that episode in full on Estuary TV tonight at 8:30. Howells Bee Lady is to be honoured later this week. Jean Bishop will be given the title of Freedom of the City. It's the highest honour a council can bestow. 95-year-old Jean has raised nearly £120,000 for Age UK and has become well known in the city. She'll be given the honour on Thursday. Hull's live Nativity is still on the lookout for more choristers. Real camels, sheep and a donkey will help retell the Christmas story on Saturday the 16th of December in a parade from Queen Victoria Square to Trinity Square. Good luck finding a real virgin. The organisers at Hull Minster hope to amass a 300-strong choir. Weekly rehearsals are held to prepare for the show. Keir McPherson, Believe in Hull's choir director, says people can still get involved.
As many as want to do it. People are very welcome to turn up, even up until the last minute. You don't need to have been to all of the rehearsals to take part. Some of the carols will probably be known to most people, and so they might not require a great deal of preparation. But also some of the other things that we're doing on top of the carols are designed to be very simple gospel harmonies, so all moving together, and simple lines one on top of the other, so that they're very easy to pick up, and certainly anybody who is a seasoned singer would find it very easy indeed.
A Hull woman has been fined by East Riding Council for fly tipping. She admitted leaving items including a large rug, handbag, shoes and wallpaper near Skirler. The rubbish was found by a member of the public who reported it to the council. Enforcement officers traced the waste back to the woman who admitted the offences. She was issued with a £400 fixed penalty notice, reduced to £300 as it was paid within 10 days. Meanwhile, a government fund has been awarded to Hull City Council to tackle fly tipping and littering. £400,000 has been given to the council to enable new wardens to patrol problem areas and work with the community on waste disposal. Over 7,000 fly tipping offences have been reported to the council in the last 12 months, costing around £250,000 to clear up. A Hull man is raising funds to house the city's homeless during Christmas. Carl Simpson, founder of Raise the Roof Hull Homeless Project, is hoping to raise £2,000 to feed and house around 30 homeless people in Hull on Christmas Day and Boxing Day. Carl currently has a GoFundMe page running to raise the money. He's also hosting a Christmas party at the Hallmark Hotel on Monday the 18th of December. He says the idea of the project is to prevent homeless people in Hull from committing suicide.
Basically what we're trying to do is get everybody that's unfortunate enough to be on the streets over Christmas this year into hotels, so they've got a safe, warm place to stay over Christmas. Nobody wants to wake up on a Christmas day on the streets. It's a lonely day, lonely time of the year if you're on your own, which these people are. The idea is we can take them, they can get a clean change of clothes, they've got showers, they can start anew fresh. Over Christmas, just relax without having to worry about everything. Last year, I was part of a soup kitchen, and we've seen a lot of deaths over the Christmas period and over the winter period. It's the worst time for anybody if they're lonely or suffering because of suicides and stuff like that. The idea is if we can stop just one person committing suicide this year, it's priceless to us. Everybody deserves to be spoilt on Christmas, so hopefully we can spoil a few people as well as save a couple of lives.
Support is massive. These guys, like I say, they need our support. And they know they can come to us for a coffee, chat, whatever. We're there.
We try and see each person 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So we can detect any problems, anything that's going wrong, we can detect, and we can sit down and talk to them, kind of a counselling session, or we can postmark them to different organisations, or maybe support them to go there, take them there.
Life saved, hopefully. I mean, this has got to be more beneficial than anything else we can find. Comfort, enjoyment over Christmas, and life saved in the long run. We've got a few somebody famous coming across. Black Lace singer Dean Michael from the 80s, Agadoo and Push Pineapple Shake a Tree, and that. Well, I'm not going to start singing, but we've got him coming across. We've also got a Kylie Minogue tribute, a comedy vocalist, and a 6'7" drag act called Regina Sparkles. So they're all coming across free of charge to offering their services to help our people out to get them into hotels. This fundraiser on the 18th of December at the Hallmark Hotel in Ferriby. More information for that will be on our Facebook page, Raise the Roof, Hull Homeless Project.
Cottingham Little Theatre is staging The Snow Queen later this month, based on the original fairy tale by Hans Christian Andersen. And I'm joined now by Rachel White, who wrote it and is directing it. Rachel, welcome. Thank you very much for coming in.
Pleasure.
When and... Well, I already know where, Hull Little Theatre, but when can we go and see this production?
It is on Thursday the 30th of November, Friday the 1st of December and Saturday the 2nd of December at 7:30. And there is a Saturday matinee on the 2nd of December at 2 p.m. All of it in the Darby and Joan Hall, Finkel Street in Cottingham.
And where can people get tickets?
You can get tickets by phoning our ticket line, which is 07955 138061. And if you leave a message, we will call you back.
Excellent, good. Well, I'm sure it'll be absolutely full. The Snow Queen, I'm not particularly familiar. We all know about Hans Christian Andersen, and we think of the Ugly Duckling and things like that. But I'm not. Just very quickly, what happens in the Snow Queen?
Basically, there's an evil mirror which fractures, and the fragments spread across the world and sort of go into people's eyes or people's hearts. And a mirror fragment goes over. Kay and Gerda are sort of have lived next door to each other all their lives and are great friends. And one of these mirror fragments gets into Kay's heart and one into his eye. So everything he looks at is ugly and his heart becomes frozen. And the Snow Queen, this sort of mysterious evil creature, comes and kidnaps him away and takes him back to her palace at the back of the North Wind. And his friend Gerda sets out to rescue him. And so the story is both about what happens to Kay when he's stolen by the Snow Queen, and also Gerda's adventures as she goes to rescue him. So that's the Hans Christian Andersen story.
Right. Sounds a bit gory.
Well, it's. I mean, a lot of fairy tales are quite dark, and in this adaptation, yes, there's some quite sad moments and some possibly quite scary moments. But obviously, it has a happy ending. It's Christmas.
And why did you choose this? I mean, you're a playwright. You wrote this version. You've adapted it from Hans Christian Andersen.
I think playwrights putting it a bit strongly. I should say, written and adapted by Rachel White sounds a bit awful, doesn't it? What happened is we plan our programmes of plays. We try to plan a couple of years ahead, so we get a nice varied programme for people to come and see, a mixture of thrillers and comedies and the rest of it. And we said, we haven't done a family show for a while. And I should stress, it isn't a children's show, it is a family show, so sort of for all ages. So we said, well, what about The Snow Queen? Because it's a brilliant story and, you know, there's bound to be. So we decided that's what we do. And then I said I would direct it. And then I started looking at scripts. And I must have read 15 scripts. And none of them would really work for us in the Derby and Joan Hall. So we had a bit of a chat. And I said, well, OK, I'll have a go at writing something. So, yes, it is the play what I wrote. And it is the first one, but it was by accident. And I did have a lot of help. So, yes.
OK, and is it a big production? Lots of,
Yes.
cast of thousands?
We've got a cast of 20, which is
goodness.
quite big for quite a small stage. And we've got 6 children in it who are brilliant.
Really? Never worked with animals and children?
Well, we're not a youth theatre.
No.
We are an adult group. And sometimes, and I really shouldn't have said we've got 6 children working for us, because we've actually got 6 actors who are younger.
To stop there, Rach. You'll have a fantastic production, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Join me after the break. Jack will bring us a roundup of the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to Brian Hossack about Yorkshire drama. Welcome back. You're watching Estuary News. Still to come tonight, Jack brings us a roundup of all the latest sports news, and I'll be talking to Brian Hossack about Yorkshire drama. A singing workshop takes place in Hull this weekend. It's part of Hull City Council's project to encourage more male singers to take part in group singing across the city. In the sessions, Singing for Blokes, Chaps and Other Men, led by Dominic Stitchbury of the Spooky Men's Choral, it'll teach a variety of songs arranged especially for male voices. The event takes place on Saturday at Albemarle Music Centre between 10 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. North East Lincolnshire Council is holding a drinks tasting event with a difference. It's to demonstrate alternatives to alcoholic drinks and to challenge the public's perceptions of low and no alcohol beverages. The event's intended to persuade bars and licensees to stock a wider choice of non-alcoholic products. Statistics show that deaths from liver disease are increasing year on year in North East Lincolnshire, and nearly half of all crime is said to be alcohol-related. The event takes place at Grimsby's Top Town Market on the 28th of November from 12 o'clock. New volleyball sessions are being introduced in East Yorkshire. Indoor volleyball is available at East Riding Leisure in Bridlington. The club is run by East Riding Council's Sport, Play and Arts Service. It's the only one of its kind in the county. The sessions are for anyone aged over 18 and are open to all abilities. They take place on a Monday evening from 6:30 p.m. until 7:30 in the Sports Hall. Now, I'm joined by Brian Hossack, who is, like Rachel White, of the Cottingham Little Theatre. Brian, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming on at rather short notice. Just to clarify, you're going to be in the play. We were talking about the Snow Queen in the first half.
Yes, I'm playing Father and the Green Man.
And the Green Man, that's a very ancient sort of figure, isn't it?
Yeah,
Okay,
the counterpart to the Snow Queen, in fact, really.
I won't ask anymore. I don't want any spoilers. I don't want to stop anything. But you are also, deeply involved in the Cottingham Little Theatre. What's the programme for Christmas?
This is our show for Christmas, and then we go into rehearsal for our annual murder mystery, which this year is going to be Who Killed the Ship's Captain. And just for a change, I'm playing the detective in it.
Excellent.
So this is about the sinking of a ship 3 months after the Titanic went down, and who killed the skipper and this sort of thing. So good fun.
Everybody taking part is sort of, it's set aboard, is it?
Yes, it's set aboard the ship. And it's great from our point of view, from an actor's point of view, because we can actually do it from the book. Because if you make a mistake and you give a wrong clue, then obviously your audience may jump to the wrong conclusion as to who done it. So it's very relaxing, so you can just read.
You don't want to give anything too much away.
No.
You don't want anybody guessing it too early.
No, absolutely not.
It's the puzzle of it.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Cottingham Little Theatre. How long has it been going?
We have our 100th year coming up in 2020, so it was founded in 1920.
And how will you be celebrating that? What's that, 3 years' time? How
3 years' time. We're planning already, so we're probably going to have a big dinner dance, which would be, you know, sort of a very normal thing to do. But we're going to try and do a lot of different. We do our main productions, probably a special murder mystery. It's rumoured that it may be me that gets killed in it.
Well, that's not a difficult part to play, is it?
Not really. And then probably more than we normally do. So we'll do our normal two reasonably the large productions, but we will also, I think, try and fill in with smaller productions with smaller casts, perhaps involving the children that are in the Snow Queen and that, you know, that sort of thing. It depends to a large extent on whether we can do this. Obviously, you have to pay a license to do a play by Jack Rosenthal or whatever.
Anybody who's not been dead 70 years.
Right.
Yeah.
So obviously we've got to try and avoid that. So we may be calling on Rachel Services to write us a few other things as well. You never know.
How many members do you have?
We have 40 members and 30 odd what are called friends who subscribe and support us. They're brilliant, lovely people.
I know the Snow Queen's going on. Is it the Derby and Joan?
At the Derby and Joan Hall in Cottingham.
So you don't have your own dedicated theatre premises? Is it?
No. They are, the Derby and Joan Committee are. We work with them really, really well, and they're very good to us. So we see no reason to spend any money buying ourselves anywhere else.
Where do you rehearse?
We rehearse in the Derby and Joan on Thursdays and behind the Zion Church in their church hall on Tuesdays.
If people want to get involved with a bit of amateur dramatics, which I always think sounds like a pejorative term, it's not. I've seen amateur dramatics that have sometimes been far superior to a lot of professional dramatics. But anyway, if people want to get involved, how should they approach you?
Through our website, Cottingham Little Theatre, and our secretary, or any of the other officers, or you could, if needs push came to shove, there is a dedicated phone line for tickets, which you could just leave a message on and say, I'm interested in becoming a member, we'd ring you back.
Why Cottingham Little Theatre?
Well,
it doesn't sound all that little to me.
Because it's not a big theatre, as the new theatre is, or as Hull Truck is. We used to be called Cottingham Dramatic Society, and it just seemed to be old-fashioned somehow, so you know we renamed ourselves Cottingham Little Theatre.
So you're the sort of the Cottesloe, or the as opposed to the Olivier.
That's right. Absolutely.
At the National Theatre.
Yes.
And I take it you just have an absolute blast.
Yeah, we really enjoy it. Everybody enjoys it. I mean, we work very hard and we try to put on as professional a production as we possibly can. And generally we have good audiences who support us.
I'm sure it'll be absolutely excellent. Thanks very much.
Thanks
for coming on. Here's Jack with all the sports.
We'll start with the football, and Hull City's search for a league win continues. The Tigers drew 2-2 against Ipswich Town after late drama at the KCOM Stadium on Saturday. Jordan Spence's 88th minute equaliser for Ipswich denied City what would have been a much-needed victory. Despite falling behind to an early David McGoldrick strike, Hull had battled back to lead 2-1 through goals from Jared Bowen and Nua Dicko. However, with the clock ticking down, the Tractor Boys ploughed on and found the net 2 minutes from time to take a share of the spoils back to Suffolk. The result means Leonid Slutsky's Hull side languish in 20th position, having failed to win in any of their last 4 championship games. Meanwhile, things are looking much brighter for Scunthorpe United. The Iron are up to 4th in League One after an impressive 3-0 win away at Northampton Town on Saturday. All the goals came in the second half. Cameron Burgess stabbed home to give United the lead before a double from Dwayne Holmes ensured a comfortable away victory for United. Akiba Delican, who scored in the FA Cup win over the Cobblers last week, was again the star man, laying on assists for all 3 of his side's goals on Saturday. Graham Alexander's men are on an impressive run of form, winning their last 4 league games and going 8 unbeaten in League and Cup. Into League Two, and Grimsby Town's struggles continue after they lost 1-0 to Carlisle United at Blundell Park. 39-year-old Clint Hill struck 20 minutes from time to condemn the Mariners to their 7th league defeat of the season. Scott Vernon came close for Grimsby early on before Dialang Jayasimi hit the crossbar from a few yards out. But despite their efforts, Russell Slade's men couldn't find the net. Town have now failed to score in each of their last 4 league games and sit in 15th in the table. Rugby Union now, and it was a good weekend for Hellensians. The Ensians beat Old Rishworthians 29-20 in Yorkshire Division 1. The match took place on Saturday after the original fixture was postponed 2 weeks ago due to a waterlogged pitch. Andy Vernon dived over in the corner of Hellensians before Josh Abbott's try and a penalty try extended their lead. Chris Smith starred with 2 further tries as the Ensians bounced back from 3 straight defeats to move into 7th place in the table. In Rugby League, Hull FC's Player of the Year Sika Manu was a part of the World Cup history over the weekend. The second rower featured in the Tonga side that beat Lebanon 24-22 in their quarter-final match in Christchurch. It's the first time that Tonga have reached the semi-finals, where they'll face England next Saturday for a place in the World Cup final. And finally, in other Rugby League news, Hull Kingston Rovers forward Graham Horne has left the club. The experienced 32-year-old has joined League One side York City Knights on a 1-year deal. Horne has made over 250 Super League appearances during a career in which he has also played for Hull FC and Huddersfield Giants. That's all for the sport. Back to Hugh in the studio.
Thanks very much, Jack. That's it for tonight. If you've a news story, then please visit our Facebook or Twitter pages, which I believe are showing below. I hope so. Email news at estuary.tv or phone Grimsby 01472 3155553, or you can write to us at Estuary TV, Nuns Corner, Laceby Road, Grimsby, North East Lincolnshire, DN 345BQ. For now, good evening.